Hello, and welcome to Tail Talk English. Today, I will share a powerful and emotional story that will help you improve your English through simple, clear, and meaningful sentences. This story is about love, secrets, heartbreak, and difficult choices. Listen carefully, enjoy the story, and improve your English naturally. So, relax, listen carefully, and imagine every scene. Sometimes we believe we know the person we love. Sometimes we trust them with our whole heart. But what happens when the person you love is living two different lives? This is the story of a man who said he loved me completely. The problem was that he was saying the same thing to another woman. My name is Sophie Carter. I am 28 years old, and I work as a librarian in a quiet town called Greenfield. People often describe me as calm, organized, and reliable. My life was simple. Every morning, I opened the library at 9 o'clock. I arranged books on the shelves, helped visitors find what they needed, and enjoyed the peaceful silence that filled the building. I liked simple things. I liked reading novels on rainy afternoons. I liked drinking tea while sitting by my apartment window. I liked knowing exactly what tomorrow would look like. Then I met Ethan Walker, and everything changed. The first time I saw Ethan was at the library. He was standing in front of the history section with a confused expression. He held 3 books in his hands and looked completely lost. "Can I help you?" I asked. He looked at me and smiled. "I hope so," he said. "These books all look the same." I laughed. "They are definitely not the same." "That's good," he replied, "because I need the right one for a work project." He introduced himself. He told me he was an engineer. We talked for almost 20 minutes about books, travel, and favorite movies. When he finally left, he smiled and said, "I think I found more than a history book today." I felt my face become warm. That was the beginning. After that, Ethan started visiting the library often. At first, he borrowed books. Then he started bringing me coffee. Then he started asking me to dinner. 3 months later, we were officially dating. Everything felt easy with Ethan. He was kind, he listened carefully, he remembered small details. When I mentioned my favorite author, he surprised me with a first edition novel. When I said I wanted to visit the ocean, he planned a weekend trip. When I had a difficult day, he always knew exactly what to say. For the first time in years, I felt completely safe with someone. I thought I had found my future husband. For almost 2 years, our relationship seemed perfect. Of course, we argued sometimes. Every couple does. But nothing seemed serious. Nothing seemed dangerous. Then small things started to change. At first, I ignored them. One evening, we were having dinner at my apartment. His phone buzzed on the table. A message appeared on the screen. I was not trying to read it, but one sentence caught my attention. "I miss you already." There was also a heart emoji. My stomach tightened. Ethan quickly picked up the phone. I tried to sound casual. "Who was that?" He smiled. "My cousin." I nodded, but something felt strange. Why would a cousin send a message like that? Still, I pushed the thought away. I trusted him. Over the next few months, similar moments appeared. Ethan started taking phone calls outside. Sometimes he disappeared for several hours. Sometimes he canceled plans at the last minute. He always had explanations: work emergencies, family problems, unexpected meetings. His answers sounded reasonable, but my instincts were becoming louder. One Saturday afternoon, I met my best friend, Lily, for lunch. Lily had known me since college. She could always tell when something was wrong. "You seem worried," she said. I stirred my coffee. "It's Ethan." "What about him?" I hesitated. "I think he's hiding something." Lily looked serious. "Do you have proof?" "No." "Then what makes you think that?" I sighed. "I don't know." She leaned forward. "Sophie, sometimes your heart notices problems before your brain does." Her words stayed with me. That night, Ethan came over carrying flowers, beautiful white roses. He kissed my forehead. He smiled. He acted exactly like the man I loved. For a moment, I felt guilty. Maybe I was imagining everything. Maybe I was being unfair. Then another message appeared on his phone. This time I saw it clearly. "Can't wait to see you tomorrow." My chest felt tight. Tomorrow? I thought Ethan was spending tomorrow with his parents. Later that evening, I finally asked him directly, "Ethan, are you hiding something from me?" He looked surprised. "No." "Are you sure?" He smiled softly. "Sophie, I love you." That was not an answer, but I wanted it to be, so I accepted it. That was my mistake. The truth arrived 2 weeks later. It was a rainy Tuesday. The library was almost empty. Around 4 o'clock, a woman walked inside. She looked nervous. She carried a small child in her arms. At first, I thought she was just another visitor. Then she approached my desk. "Are you Sophie Carter?" she asked. "Yes." Her eyes filled with emotion. "I need to talk to you." Something inside me immediately felt afraid. We sat in a quiet reading room. The little boy slept peacefully against her shoulder. The woman looked at me for several seconds. Then she asked, "How long have you been dating Ethan Walker?" My blood turned cold. "Almost 2 years." She closed her eyes. Tears appeared instantly. When she opened them again, she whispered, "I was afraid you would say that." I could barely breathe. "Who are you?" She looked down at the sleeping child. "My name is Olivia." Then she pointed gently at the little boy. "And this is Ethan's son." The room disappeared around me. I stared at her, then at the child, then back at her. "No." Her eyes filled with sadness. "Yes." I shook my head. "That's impossible." She reached into her purse and removed several photographs. My hands trembled as I looked at them. There was Ethan, holding the child, smiling, playing in a park, celebrating birthdays, standing beside Olivia. They looked like a family, a real family. My entire body felt numb. "When?" I whispered. Olivia swallowed hard. "We've been together for 5 years." 5 years? I felt sick. I had known Ethan for only 2. That meant she came first. That meant he had been lying from the beginning. I stared at the photographs again. Every image felt like another knife. "Why are you telling me this now?" I asked. Fresh tears rolled down her cheeks. "Because I just discovered you." My heart stopped. "What?" She nodded. "I found messages on his phone." Suddenly, everything became clear. He had not been choosing between 2 women. He had been lying to both of us. Olivia looked exhausted. "I thought I was the only woman in his life." I laughed bitterly. So did I. For several minutes, neither of us spoke. The silence was painful. Finally, Olivia said, "I'm sorry." I looked at her. "Why are you apologizing?" "Because you're suffering because of him." I felt tears filling my eyes. "This isn't your fault." She nodded. "And it isn't yours either." For the first time, I realized something important. We were not enemies. We were victims of the same lie. That evening, Ethan called me. I answered. "Hey, beautiful," he said. His voice sounded completely normal. I almost couldn't believe it. How could someone lie so easily? "Ethan," I said calmly, "can we meet tonight?" "Of course." "I'll text you the address." He agreed immediately. 2 hours later, Ethan arrived at a small cafe. He walked inside, smiling. Then he saw Olivia, and everything changed. The smile disappeared. The color left his face. For several seconds, nobody moved. Then he whispered, "Oh no." I folded my arms. That's exactly what I thought. Olivia sat quietly beside me. Ethan looked trapped. "Sophie, I can explain." I laughed. "No, you can't." He looked at Olivia. "Olivia!" She interrupted him. "How long?" His shoulders dropped. He knew there was no escape. For the next hour, the truth slowly emerged. He admitted everything. He admitted he loved both of us. He admitted he had planned to continue seeing both of us. He admitted he thought he could manage 2 relationships forever. The more he talked, the worse it became. Finally, I asked the question that mattered most. "Who were you planning to choose?" He looked down. "I don't know." That answer hurt more than anything else. Not because he loved someone else, but because he never intended to choose. He wanted everything. He wanted Olivia. He wanted me. He wanted the family he had built and the exciting secret relationship he had created. Olivia wiped tears from her eyes. "I gave you 5 years." I looked at him. "I gave you my trust." For the first time, Ethan seemed truly ashamed. But it was too late. Some damage cannot be repaired. Eventually, Olivia stood. She picked up her son. Then she looked directly at Ethan. "We're done." He looked terrified. "Please." She shook her head. "No." Then she walked away. I watched her leave. Then I looked at Ethan one final time. He seemed smaller somehow, not because he had changed, because I could finally see him clearly. "I loved you," I said quietly. His eyes filled with hope. But then I continued, "Now I don't know who you are." The hope disappeared. I stood up. "Sophie, please." I shook my head. "No." Then I walked away. The following months were difficult. I cried often. I missed the man I thought Ethan was. But slowly I began to understand something. The man I missed never really existed. He was a character, a performance, a carefully created version of himself. Healing took time. I spent more time with friends, I traveled, I read books, I focused on my work. Little by little, life became brighter again. 6 months later, Olivia visited the library. This time she looked stronger, healthier, happier. Her son was running around the children's section. We drank tea together. We talked for nearly 2 hours. She told me she had started a new job. She had moved into a new apartment. She was rebuilding her life. "I never thought I'd survive it," she admitted. I smiled. "I know exactly what you mean." Before she left, she said something I will never forget. "We lost the same man." I nodded. Then she smiled softly. "But we found ourselves again." I felt tears in my eyes because she was right. A year after everything happened, I was standing behind the library desk when a man approached. He looked nervous. He held a book upside down. I couldn't help smiling. "Need some help?" I asked. He laughed. "Obviously." For a moment, I remembered Ethan. Then the memory faded, because this wasn't Ethan. This was someone new, and for the first time in a long time, I wasn't afraid. Maybe that was the real ending. Not finding another relationship, not finding another man, finding trust in myself again. Because people can lie, people can betray, people can break your heart, but they do not get to destroy your future. Ethan loved 2 women. In the end, he lost both. And Olivia and I learned something important. Real love cannot exist without honesty. Without trust, love becomes just another beautiful lie. What do you think about Ethan's actions? If you were Sophie, would you forgive him? Do you think a person can truly love 2 people at the same time? Thank you again for spending your time here with me. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more English stories. Take care of yourself, keep practicing English every day, and see you next time in another Tale Talk English story.